What is up, and welcome to the Transparency Donna Adelson timeline. Let's jump into it.
Donna Adelson, the Florida grandmother accused of hatching a plot to murder her ex-son-in-law, is going to trial after a false start last year. I take a look at everything that's been happening in Donna Adelson's case and why she doesn't want jailhouse snitches testifying against her. Welcome to Crime Fix.
Welcome, Anjanette Levy, to the channel. We appreciate you being here. Welcome. Come on, let's go. Here we go. I switched around the order of my shows today. So here we go. Want to show first on stage. Let's bring it at a timeline for you. The Donna Adelson case file. Let's take a look at this puppy. Donna Adelson timeline. 2012 to 2013, there is a divorce custody battle between Wendy Adelson and Dan Markel. So in September of 2012, September 10th, Wendy Adelson files for divorce from Dan Markel. June 20th, a whole year later, judge denies Wendy's motion to relocate with the children to South Florida. July 31st, 2013, the divorce was finally final. Donna and Harvey Adelson pressure Wendy to keep pursuing relocation, even offering to pay Dan $1 million to agree. 2014, so a year after the divorce is finalized, July 11th, 2014, Donna schedules a TV repair appointment for Wendy's television to be serviced on the morning of July 18th, aligning with the homicide timeline. July 15th, 2014, a rental car tied to the case is secured on July 15th. July 17th, 2014, two suspects arrive in Tallahassee. July 18th, 2014, Dan Markel is ambushed in his driveway at 211 Truscott Drive, Tallahassee, and fatally shot. A neighbor hears a loud bang and sees a silver Toyota Prius leaving the scene. Wendy, interviewed the same day, tells police her parents were angry with Markel and recalls Charlie joking about hiring a hitman. She admits, "My brother makes a lot of jokes in bad taste. It was cheaper to buy me a TV as a divorce gift." Wendy Adelson told police, "Someone might have done it for her benefit. I can't help but feel that this is all my fault. This can't be a random act of violence. This has to be on purpose. Someone did this for a reason." End quote. She said during a recorded police interview, "I'm so scared that someone did this, not because they hate Danny, but because they thought this was good somehow." Well, 2014 to 2016, the cover-up and ongoing payments. After the murder, Catherine McBanawa begins receiving bi-weekly paychecks from the Adelson Institution signed by Donna Adelson, even though she never worked there. McBanawa also receives large amounts of cash and gifts. Financial records show deposits of over $56,000 in cash between the homicide and late 2015. So about in a year's time slump. Now, 2016, this is known as the FBI bump and wiretaps. Again, April 19th, 2016, an undercover agent approaches Donna Adelson outside her Miami condo, demands $5,000, and hands her a phone number to call. Donna calls Charlie. "Well, probably both of us. You probably have a general idea of what I'm talking about." End quote. April 20th, 2016, the FBI records Charlie and McBanowa's infamous Dolce Vita restaurant conversation, where Charlie tells her, "If they had any evidence, we would have already gone to the airport." End quote. May 25th and 26th of 2016, Sigfredo Garcia is arrested on first-degree murder charges. So almost about 2 years later. June 1st through the 17th of 2016, Garcia is extradited and arraigned. A grand jury indicts Garcia and Luis Rivera with evidence tying them to the Adelsons. October 1st through the 4th, 2016, Catherine McBanowa is arrested. Rivera pleads guilty to second-degree murder and is sentenced to 19 years. Who coughed him up? Right there. Your 19-year. (2019 to 2022). This is the Accomplice trails. October 11th, 2019. Sigfredo Garcia convicted on first-degree murder and sentenced to life. April 21st, 2022. Charlie Adelson is arrested and charged after new FBI audio analysis. May 27th, about a month later after his arrest, McBanowa is convicted of murder, conspiracy, and solicitation, sentenced to life plus 60 years. July 29th, 2022. McBanowa is sentenced to life in prison plus 2 30-year terms. In 2023, Charlie's conviction and Donna's arrest. November 6th, 2023, Charlie Adelson is convicted of first-degree murder, conspiracy, and solicitation. November 7th, Donna and Harvey book one-way tickets to Vietnam. November 12th, Charlie is sentenced to life plus additional terms. November 13th, 2023, Donna Adelson is arrested at Miami International Airport with a one-way ticket to Vietnam. She faces the same charges. The affidavit notes that Donna had been creating trusts and discussed fleeing or committing suicide in jail calls after Charlie's verdict. December 11th, 2023, Donna pleads not guilty. 2024 to 2025, there's been trial delays and pretrial hearings. In September of 2024, Donna's trial is postponed when her attorney withdraws on the first day of jury selection, and that was due to Charlie Adelson Dan Rashbaum represented him, and there was an issue with conflict. So this trial was supposed to happen in September of 2024. That's why we are here now in 2025. These are the pretrial maneuvers and trial dates. March 4th, 2025, the judge denies Donna's bond. So the court finds that one of the primary considerations of bail cannot be met. 2, on May 2nd, 2025, defense petitions to remove the presiding judge. Hearings are delayed. June 13th, 2025, a hearing on change of venue is held, citing media saturation in Tallahassee. Judge reserves the ruling. July 21st and July 22nd of 2025, the defense files motions to limit testimony about phone calls, emails, and travel. August 7th and 8th of 2025, judge denies motion to suppress evidence about Donna's attempted flight, but allows it to be used if properly introduced. August 15th, 2025, Donna is transferred to Leon County Jail. Wendy Adelson files to quash her subpoena, and she's only going to be testifying for the prosecution because she has immunity. August 19th, that's where we're at. We are at jury selection. It has begun this week. There were around 300 jurors that were summoned, with 12 seated plus 3 alternates. The trial is expected to last 3 weeks. Summary, here you go. The Donna Adelson case represents the final stage in unraveling the murder for hire conspiracy behind the death of Dan Markel. With 2 hitmen, their go-between, and her son Charlie already convicted, Donna stands as the last alleged orchestrator. Her trial begins August 19th, 2025. May finally determine whether she too will be held accountable for her role in a family-driven plot that shook Florida's legal and academic communities. Key evidence from warrant. Donna signed McBanawa's ghost paychecks. Donna's April 2016 phone call with Charlie shows her knowledge of the extortion attempt. Financial records demonstrate money funneled from the Adelson family accounts to the conspirators. Booking one-way tickets after Charlie's conviction is cited as consciousness of guilt. Here are some quotes. On her intended flight to Vietnam, in quotes, my husband and I need to just get some peace. We're going to go away somewhere. On the Miami airport evidence, in quotes, I think that it's significant because it goes to her state of mind for making the travel plan, says defense attorney Joshua Zellman. The jury is going to decide what's significant to give to the evidence. That's Judge Everett. I'm not going to read these. Sorry, but we're good. So here we are. Donna Adelson. I'm going to show you guys the most recent little blurb about it. Is interesting to me because at the last minute they were trying to introduce some jailhouse snitching, additional wiretapping of Harvey, and is this the end of it? Like whether or not she's found guilty or innocent, what's at stake for Harvey or what's at stake for Wendy? And according to people, I'm one of those people. I don't think that they're going to go after Wendy. I just don't. So let's take a look.
And Jeanette Levy. Donna Adelson's trial is happening. Jury selection is underway in Tallahassee. Now, Charlie, as you know, has already been convicted for his role in the conspiracy, and he's serving a life sentence. Charlie arrived in Tallahassee over the weekend because prosecutors plan to call him to testify. Now, for her part, Donna says she's not guilty, despite her hatred for Dan Markel, and we know just how much she hated Dan. Donna said she didn't take part in the plot to murder the ex-husband of her daughter, Wendy. Prosecutors call Wendy Adelson an unindicted co-conspirator, and she maintains she did not take part in a conspiracy to murder Dan, and she says her family didn't either. Wendy is again being granted immunity to testify against her mother by the state, but her lawyers have asked to quash the subpoena issued to her by her mom's lawyers because she doesn't get any form of immunity testifying for the defense. Judge Everett held a hearing on this Monday afternoon. Take a look.
The defense cannot give the witness immunity as it relates to any matters in which she would testify under and could properly invoke the Fifth Amendment privilege. No witness can be called to the stand simply to invoke the Fifth Amendment, as there would be no basis for this witness to take the stand and give testimony on a relevant matter, and also could not affect her ability to also endanger her own Fifth Amendment right. I am going to grant the relief that is requested. If we need to revisit this issue for any purpose where the defense believes there is a line of questioning that will not go to the Fifth Amendment privilege of the witness, we will at the appropriate time, but I do believe it is the proper ruling at this point to quash the subpoena.
So there you go. Wendy basically can't be called as a witness by Donna's defense team. And there's another issue that was heard behind closed doors on Monday afternoon. Donna Adelson's defense says inmates at the jail were acting as agents of law enforcement when they asked her questions back in 2024. So that testimony, they say, shouldn't be allowed from those inmates. Now, inmates can listen to what someone has to say, But the cops can't ask an inmate to go into the jail and ask Donna questions because that would violate her rights. Those inmates, according to a defense motion, were told by detectives to not initiate conversations with Donna Adelson and to only listen if she said something first. The trial of Donna Adelson for the conspiracy to murder.
This is wild part, okay? This is where I'm just like, man, why do you got to go to this extra step? Just, you arrested her, go on with your business. Why bring in jailhouse snitches, talk to the FBI, say, hey, yeah. I mean, clearly if somebody's coming out and saying that the FBI told me to do X, Y, and Z, or detectives told me to do X, Y, and Z, because that's the argument right now, which is, I just, why would you even engage in this? Why would you even risk it?
Dan Markel has been more than 10 years in the making. So let's take a closer
Let me tell you, when you do that, guys, you need more. You need more.
look at just how we got here. Florida State University professor Dan Markel was murdered on July 19th, 2014, after he pulled into his garage. His family and friends called him Danny.
First of all, he's Canadian, and nobody really knows that he's Canadian, but he always wanted to go to Harvard, Yale, or Princeton. And he went to Harvard undergrad. And later on, he went and he took a year off and he went to Cambridge, England. And 1 year he studied also in Israel. And then he came back, he did Harvard Law School, and then he clerked. And then he worked in Washington. So that was his first job.
Who would want to gun down a law professor in his driveway? Police started investigating, and they immediately spoke to Dan Markel's ex-wife, Wendy Adelson.
I mean, I am of the opinion that I don't know what Wendy was doing or thinking, but Wendy just, she's a lawyer. I personally think that she basically got her family arrested. I was blown away when I saw this interview. This is July 18th, 2014. But I'm telling you, whose interview takes the cake is her ex-boyfriend. We'll get into that.
Your husband, your ex-husband.
We have another Jeff.
Excuse me, Daniel. All right, has been taken to the hospital. He's not going to survive.
There's a reason Crime Fix is one of the top-ranked shows.
Like, he knew Danny treated me badly, and it was always this joke. He said, I looked into hiring a hitman, and it was cheaper to get you this TV, so instead I got you this TV. I mean, he would never.
Now, some time passed, and fast forward to 2016. In May of that year, two Miami gang members who were lifelong friends.
Who says that to the cops?
Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera were charged with murdering Dan Markel. But why? What did these two have against Dan Markel?
You know who's the unsung hero in all of this, guys, is the neighbor. The neighbor got the car. If the neighbor, in my opinion, doesn't catch that glimpse of that car, yeah, they would have never been caught. The neighbor catches the glimpse of that car, and then they're able to track down the car through the CCTV. But if the neighbor doesn't see, it doesn't, you don't have that lead. I mean, do I think that they would have been 100% like, this is, we have to look through this family? Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
5 months later, Katie Mag-Benoit, the mother of Sigfredo Garcia's children, was arrested and charged for her part in the conspiracy to murder Dan Markel. Prosecutors said Katie was the connection between the two hitmen, Garcia and Rivera, and the Adelson family. Katie had dated Wendy Adelson's brother, Charlie Adelson, a successful periodontist.
Charlie dated everybody. Charlie was like, Charlie was doing, this is all over to just be able to get your kids, your grandkids to be able to relocate from Tallahassee to Miami. What the fuck? Like, the divorce was handled. Like a year had passed. But there is more to the story because Dan Markel then decided he was playing hardball and he's like, you know what? I don't want I don't want Donna to be able to be with the kids unsupervised. And that's the little tidbit that happens like right before his murder.
Luis Rivera pleaded guilty and testified against Garcia and Magbanwa at their trial in 2019.
Was money discussed as far as how you'd be compensated for this job?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
He was gonna give me some money. He said, take a ride with me up to Tallahassee and I'll give you some money.
Did he say how much?
At that moment, yeah, he did. 35.
All right, 35 what?
35,000.
You were gonna get $35,000 for this job?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And did you have another conversation in the car on the way to Tallahassee?
Yes, ma'am.
How many trips did you make to Tallahassee?
Like twice.
All right, and were both trips with Mr. Garcia?
Yes, ma'am.
Was anybody else in the car on either
Twice? I don't know if I believe that.
of those trips?
Not at all.
All right, tell us about the conversation on the way to Tallahassee. Was this the first trip or the second trip?
This, the first trip.
All right, tell us about that.
We were just taking a ride up there. My concern, I thought I was gonna go rob him. So,
Say that again.
and my concern, I thought we were gonna go rob him.
Finna go
You
rob
thought
him.
you were coming to Tallahassee to do a robbery?
Yes, ma'am.
A robbery. I'm gonna give you $35,000 for a robbery. Sounds about right.
Did you assume that or did somebody tell you that?
No, I assumed I'm like, it was just a job.
All right. So you knew
It was just a job.
it was a job in Tallahassee
We'll pay you $35,000. We're gonna go what?
and you assumed it was a robbery. Did you learn something additional about what it was on the way to Tallahassee?
Yeah, and the way coming up, like halfway there, he said we're gonna have to kill the man for some
Said you were
kids.
gonna have to kill the man?
Yeah,
And what was the second part of what you said?
for some kids.
For some kids. All right, anything else? What did that mean to you? Kill the man for some kids.
That's for a lady. I guess the lady wanted her kids back.
All right, so is this Garcia?
Right there. Wouldn't that have something to do with, I don't know, Wendy? I guess some lady wants her kids back. Oh, don't worry. We're going to be going over Jeff. I mean, Donna doesn't want her kids back. Those aren't her kids. They're Wendy's. So we're going to.
Garcia telling you this?
Yeah.
Sigfredo Garcia was found guilty. The jury came back hung on Katie Magbanwa's charges, but she was later convicted at a second trial in 2022. Then came the arrest of Charlie Adelson for his role in the conspiracy.
I'm still looking into how her trial ended up in a hung jury the first time around. But the second time around, it was she was found guilty. But rumor has it that Katie McBanwa was offered a sick deal, like no time, nothing, to just turn on everybody type of thing.
Later that year, Charlie Adelson pleaded not guilty and went to trial in October of 2023.
A review of Wendy Adelson's emails revealed that her mother, Donna Adelson, hated Dan Markel and was desperate to find a way for Wendy and her children, who were Donna Adelson's grandchildren, to be able to move to Miami. Donna Adelson suggests in these emails that y'all will hear about several ways that Wendy Adelson could threaten or bully Dan Markel into submission, into getting what she wanted him to do. Donna Adelson even suggested offering Dan Markel a $1 million bribe to allow the relocation, and even said that this defendant, Charlie Adelson, would pay a third of that $1 million bribe to Dan Markel to make that happen. The evidence in this case will show that Donna Adelson's.
Okay. Dude, families, like, tight stuff, right? Would your family give you $350,000, $333,000? Here, pay off your ex so you can have the kids. I'll give you $330,000 of it, and our folks going to give the rest of the six whatever. How does that come up in conversation over dinner?
Closest confidant was her son, the
If you're
defendant.
going to spend that type of money, then why wouldn't you spend that type of money and make sure, like, I don't know, you don't hire gangbangers to go do not a gangbang job? Like, can you believe this shit? This is just dumb as fuck. I mean, what the fuck?
She and the defendant
These
talked
people are dentists, lawyers.
multiple times a day, every day. He was the person with whom she would constantly vent and complain to about Wendy's situation. The defendant was also the person that Donna Adelson relied on to solve her problems. And this was a big, big problem for Donna Adelson. And she
Why?
made it the defendant's problem to solve.
The defense said Charlie was innocent.
The murder
Listen to
of
this.
Professor Markel was a tragedy. The world lost a brilliant legal mind. His family lost a son and a brother. This community lost its sense of security and lost a good citizen. And his two boys, the nephews of Charlie Adelson, lost a loving father. You will see that Charlie Adelson had nothing to do with the murder of Markel. You will see that the state cannot come close to meeting its burden. Why? Because Charlie Adelson is innocent.
Throughout Charlie Adelson's trial, evidence came out
So compelling.
showing just how much Donna Adelson hated Dan Markel. Emails from Donna Adelson to Wendy Adelson.
Let Gibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church. And you'll certainly invite him to the event.
Showed Donna called Dan gibbers and gave Wendy a plan of action to get under his skin. It included Wendy telling Dan she was going to have their sons baptized in the Catholic Church.
He's Jewish, by the way.
Dan Markel was a devout Jew. Wendy Adelson wanted to move the son she shared with Dan Markel to Miami, and Donna Adelson wanted that too. But Dan Markel, he was not having any of it. Wendy testified under immunity agreements at all.
Okay, no offense, but why would anybody think that they could get married and that they're going to be taking kids away from parents? Like, even if it doesn't work out. Like, where is that in your fucking brain that that's ever going to, like, happen? This is just
All of these trials, including Charlie's.
What about the idea that you could try to threaten Dan to convert the kids to Christianity so that they can fit into the Bible Belt here in Tallahassee? Is that something your mom suggested in these emails?
My mom did suggest that.
Okay, and specifically, this is on page 7 of the exhibit. Let Gibbers know that your children will be baptized in the Catholic Church. Have a picture made of them in front of the church, all that kind of thing. That's what your mom suggested at one time.
She did, yes.
that's just a bored woman, man.
Okay, and did you do any of those things?
No, I don't even think I responded to it.
Do you know whether the defendant, your brother Charlie, was supportive of the plan to convert them or pose as converting them to
I have
Christianity?
no idea. I don't think he was particularly involved in this round of my mom's
On
emails.
page 11 of the exhibit, there's an indication from your mom that Charlie at least has discussed this with her and maybe is somewhat supportive. Charlie brought up a good point when he said that Americans were dropped behind enemy lines during World War II wearing Nazi uniforms to get what they wanted. They had a job to get done and they did what they needed to do to accomplish it. You have a job to get done in a very short time frame to accomplish it. If you dressed your kids up in Hitler Youth uniforms and brought them down here, I could care less if it was an act of defiance that would show Jibbers that he's, all caps and bold, not in control. So it just seems like your mom was pretty extreme about this situation of getting you relocated. Can you agree with that?
Yeah.
All right. And Charlie was at least consulted on it or had offered some information about it.
Well, that was my mom's rendition, so I don't know if that's what actually happened or that was her perception.
And guess what? Someone else had a change of heart and testified at Charlie's trial. Katie Magbanois decided that she would finally admit to her role in the conspiracy to murder Dan Markel.
Did you have a trial in your case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you testify?
Yes, ma'am.
You testified on your own behalf.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And when you testified, were you truthful with the jury?
No, ma'am. I was not.
Did you take the same oath that you just took today in your own trial?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you believe that as a juror that you just sit there and listen to somebody say, okay, yep, I had a trial. I tried to get out of this whole thing. It didn't work. I lied. Okay. Now I'm here to tell you that this is the truth.
What was your defense when you were tried?
That I had nothing to do with it.
All right. That we got it right in reference to Charlie Adelson and we got it right in reference to the killers,
Yes,
but you
ma'am.
weren't in the middle.
Yes, ma'am.
Was that true?
No, ma'am, it was not.
Were you in the middle?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And didn't you also testify in the trial in which Sigfredo Garcia was convicted of murder?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And what was his defense?
That he had nothing to do with it.
That we got it right in reference to Charlie Adelson and we got it right in reference to the killers, but he had nothing to do with it,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Objection, Your Honor. B.
Overruled, Ms. Kellerman, make sure you use any questions.
And was that defense truthful?
No, ma'am, it was not.
So Sigfredo Garcia was involved.
Yes, ma'am, he was.
So why tell the truth now?
I believe that the truth needed to come out now so that the family can get some type of closure.
Why didn't the truth need to come out last year or the year before or the year before that?
I was trying to defend myself.
You were trying to get off.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you think you'd be successful in your trial with that defense?
I thought so.
And in Charlie's trial,
Can you believe somebody's admitting to this shit on the stand? Like, and then she testifies that she didn't get anything for that testimony, right? And I said, what?
there were wiretapped conversations between Donna and Charlie, prompted by an encounter called the Bump, where undercover agents approached Donna on the street.
Excuse me, Mrs. Adelson? How you doing? Just want to give you this. Listen. No, don't be scared. Listen, just want to let you know that we know that your family has been taking care of Katie and her friend Hugo for quite some time after your problem up north has been resolved. And I want to let you know that my brother, he's incarcerated. He helped your family with this problem you guys had up north. And we want to make sure that he's going through some rough times. We want to make sure that you take care of what he's going through, the way you're taking care of Katie and Hugo. Well, this will explain it. Thank you.
After the bump, police listened as Donna and Charlie spoke in code on wiretapped phone calls. Charlie took the stand at his trial, and he claimed that they were actually discussing a double extortion plot and that Katie Magbanwa was extorting him because she was being extorted by Rivera and Garcia.
I want to go through some of them.
Yeah, you guys heard that right. So his defense at trial is that I was being extorted. These people were extorting me. You don't understand. These people were extorting me. What?
You claim that you were extorted on July 18th, 2014 by Catherine Magbanwa and also in the background, some Latin kings, probably Garcia and Rivera, right? Is that accurate?
No, I wasn't extorted by Catherine Magbanwa.
You weren't?
That's not what I believed in 2014.
Okay, I'm sorry. I understood you to say you believe that today.
Today I do, yes.
All right, so who extorted you?
I believe that it was Catherine Magbanwa's friend that she ran her mouth to.
There was also a recording at the Dolce Vita restaurant where Katie Magbanwa and Charlie Adelson discussed the man in the bump who claimed to be a friend of Rivera's approaching Donna Adelson. In the end, the jury did not believe Charlie Adelson.
In the Circuit Court of the Second Judicial Circuit in and for Leon County, Florida, the state of Florida versus Charles Adelson, case number 2016 CF 3036B, verdict. Count 1. We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder.
Jail phone calls following the verdict in Charlie.
I was really interested when I was shocked. Like I think thought he was not going to be found guilty.
We, the jury, find as follows as to count 1 of the indictment, first-degree murder. The defendant is guilty of first-degree murder.
Jail phone call.
Like, that was like a really, like, you don't really see people that they try to tell you, like, don't say anything regardless of which way it is. Whew.
Following the verdict in Charlie Adelson's trial captured Donna and Harvey Adelson's shock.
Take a deep breath, Charlie, please.
But honestly, I'm like, I don't know if I'm in a state of shock.
Yeah, you're in shock. We're all in shock.
Yeah.
Donna Adelson is concerned that prosecutors are coming for her next. Police moved in quickly after Donna was caught on a hot mic jail call.
We've been looking it up over and over. If things change, if there is extradition from Vietnam, because we've looked at all the places. I mean, I could go to Korea and China, but there's no extradition. But we're looking for places where there's no extradition.
In 15 minutes.
Who? Really? Good. Maybe she knows about. Maybe she can look up the extradition issue before we waste our time.
Donna Adelson was taken into custody as she and Harvey tried to board a plane for Vietnam days after Charlie's trial with one-way tickets. Donna Adelson pleaded not guilty to the charges, alleging she was the mastermind in her son-in-law's murder. She's been in jail in Tallahassee for many, many months since November 2023.
Now, before she was arrested in Miami, she also had a phone call with her son, who's obviously in jail here. 25-minute phone call. I personally listened to it. She very clearly spoke about a plan to kill herself using sleeping pills.
One moment, Miss Adelson, please keep your comments to yourself. Let your lawyer argue on your behalf.
Now, Donna Adelson.
Do we think there's going to be any Donna Adelson outbursts? Okay. Like, Donna ain't going to have that. I don't know. I know. How old is she?
Trial. It was actually supposed to start in September of 2024, but then there was
I just can't get over how stupid these motherfucking people are.
Twist. It was determined her lawyer, Dan Rashbaum, who represented Charlie at his trial, could not represent Donna too because Charlie hadn't waived a conflict.
Look at
this trial could not.
There's Joel right back there to the right.
Represent Donna too because Charlie hadn't waived a conflict. Donna could not have been more disappointed. Since that time, she has retained new lawyers. But
I don't know. I think Donna, I wouldn't want Rashbaum as my attorney. But yeah, Charlie didn't waive it, but I wouldn't want him. C75. You don't have with Donna Sue Adelson. Yeah. I mean, she's just dumb. Dumb.
Then there was another twist. A new secret investigation started.
This is wild to me. This is absolutely wild to me.
Last year, involving new wiretaps. Donna's attorneys demanded information about it earlier this year.
So looking at the reply and the motion to compel, all of the things that they are requesting here as far as the minimization instructions, all the logs, all of those things, I feel once the order to unseal has been signed, those can't all be disclosed. The only thing that I saw that would be additional that they are asking for is surveillance video, which is surveillance video from the jail, which I've been told has already been disclosed to the defense. They also asked for the financial records that are mentioned in the application. I was told that we subpoenaed Harvey Adelson's Zelle account. I found that those Zelle records and had it sent to the defense this afternoon. So once those...
What do you mean? Okay, how do these prosecutors live every day of their lives? Okay, listen, this family's absolutely fucking crazy. Absolutely. Okay, no doubt about it. Do I think that this broad's lying her ass off? Abso-fucking-lutely. Why? Oh, I happen to come across those Zelle records. You are so full of shit. You didn't just happen. You've known that they've existed. You have no idea what's going on in your case with the police. Get out of here. I just can't handle the lies. I'm just like, oh, wow. We needed more because you don't have anything on Donna. Like for a year, you guys were...
items are unsealed and they can be disclosed to the defense. That should be all of the discovery that pertains to the wire.
Please provide the order. Has the defense been able to take a look at it?
No, sir. Let me show them what I have, and if I need to change anything, I'll happy to.
Both the prosecution and the defense, they were very, very careful about what they said about this investigation, but it definitely involved wiretaps.
Your Honor, there was one issue that Ms. Dugan and I addressed.
Look at who the person that's always been handling this is not her. Goblin was like, go ahead, you guys handle that. I'm not speaking on any of that shit.
Sorry, in the motion and order, and it has to do with the discrepancy with Investigator Newland's memorandum, the 17-page memorandum. The memorandum that he authored indicated that the wire went down February 24th. Ms. Dugan is telling me that the wire actually went down on February 21st. So if we can just make sure that that's accurate.
Yes, this is one of the paragraphs in the defense's reply. That was just a mistake on the memo. The wire came down on the 21st. I believe the significance of the 24th was when the order was signed, and I think Mr. Newland's memo said the 24th, but it is the 21st, which is reflected in the order the court's looking at now.
We're still wondering what that's all about and who it.
Do you understand why that's a problem? What do you mean? There wasn't an order yet to get the wiretapping? The order didn't come down until the 24th. When was the order? You get what I'm saying? Like, that's a problem.
Involves. We do know that Wendy Adelson and her father, Harvey Adelson, are still considered unindicted co-conspirators in this case. So now that Donna's trial is going to get underway, the same cast of characters will be testifying.
So there's 59 witnesses that are expected to testify in this trial. 59. Most of them were from before.
Luis Rivera, Catherine Magbanois, Wendy Adelson, and now Charlie Adelson is also expected to take the stand. And some are wondering what a woman named Sarah Youssef will testify to. She's on the witness list for the state. She's an attorney and former friend of Wendy Adelson. That could be very, very interesting. There have been questions about whether Wendy Adelson will face charges.
She won't. Wendy has never been charged with anything. I personally don't think that they want Wendy. I think that, I mean, they did, but they can't, none of this other stuff would be happening, I don't think, but I could be wrong. So anyways, I want to talk about more about this wiretapping that there were snitches. So let me, where is it? Where's Jeffy Poo? Jeffy Poo is cray cray. Talk about a weird relationship, man. I wonder what Jeff's up to these days. Good old little Wendy. All right, this is what the jury heard. They're in jury selection right now.
Statement of the case that has been agreed upon by the parties. On July 18th, 2014, FSU College of Law professor Dan Markel was shot while seated in his car. This happened in the driveway of Markel's home on Trescott Drive in the Benton Hills neighborhood. The killers traveled to Tallahassee from Miami to commit the murder in a rented silver green color Prius. The defendant and alleged conspirator in this murder was the former mother-in-law of Dan Markel. She has entered a plea of not guilty. The statement of the case that I've just read to you is not evidence, and it's not to be considered by you as evidence or any proof of guilt. You must not be influenced by this statement. It is merely informing you of the accusation that has been made by the state against the defendant. Before we speak with you individually and privately about this case, some of you may be excused. Mr. Zellman, you can take it.
That's all they said about there you go.
I'm also going to read to you at this time the material part of the indictment that has been filed against the defendant. Once again, the indictment is not evidence, and it's not to be considered as evidence or any proof of guilt. You must not be influenced by the fact that an indictment has been filed. In this case, it is merely a formal method by which the state makes an accusation against the defendant. It is alleged in count one that on or about July 18, 2014, Donna S. Adelson in the county, Leon, and state of Florida did unlawfully kill a human being, Daniel Markel, by shooting with a firearm, and the killing was perpetrated from or with a premeditated design or intent to effect the death of Daniel Markel, contrary to the Florida statutes. Count two. Beginning in 2013 and until October 1st of 2016, Donna S. Adelson in the county of Leon and state of Florida did agree, conspire, combine, or confederate with Charles Adelson and or Catherine McBanawa and or other persons to commit first-degree murder, contrary to the Florida statutes. Count three. It is alleged that beginning in 2013 and until October 1st of 2016, Donna S. Adelson in the county of Leon and state of Florida did solicit another to commit first-degree murder, and in the course of such solicitation, commanded, encouraged, hired, or requested the person, Charles Adelson and or Catherine McBanawa, and or other persons to engage in specific conduct which would constitute first-degree murder, which resulted in the death of Daniel Markel, contrary to the Florida statutes.
Okay, so for me with this case, I want to see if they have enough evidence to actually, if this jury's supposed to not know about anything, right? And that's how I want to watch this trial to see, okay, do they meet the burden? Okay, is the evidence there? Charlie testifying is going to be interesting.
I believe I said this before, but we are now going to speak with each of you individually and privately about this matter.
Okay, so today they started jury selection yesterday. So today's Wednesday, yeah. Now, I don't know what these people are doing in their lives, okay? I say what they're doing in their lives. So here's this guy named Jeffy Poo. Jeff. Okay. Sorry.
Pictures of the person conducting a transaction on the machine. We spoke on the phone.
Okay.
Proceed.
Sir, please introduce yourself and spell your first and last name.
Yeah, I'm Jeffrey LaCasse, Jeffrey. Excuse me. Last name spelled LaCasse.
How are you employed, Mr. LaCasse?
I'm employed at Florida State University as an associate professor.
All right. What about back in 2014?
I was an assistant professor at Florida State University.
All right. And did you have a relationship with Wendy Adelson?
I did.
What type of relationship was that?
We started dating in the fall of 2013. She became my girlfriend around March of 2014.
Okay. And when did that relationship end?
July of 2014.
And
she became my girlfriend, and then she was no longer my girlfriend. Say that again.
And when did that relationship end?
July of 2014.
Okay. And when the breakup occurred, was there a big argument that occurred that precipitated the breakup?
We had a argument in late June. She went to South Florida for a couple of weeks, and when she came back, we tried to make things work, and it didn't really work. She sort of cut off contact.
All right. And during that argument, when she went to South Florida, was she in South Florida on July 1st?
I believe she was. I dropped her off at her house on June 29th, I believe.
Okay. And during the course of your relationship with Ms. Adelson, did you ever meet her family?
I did.
Who did you meet?
I met her brother. We went to South Florida for alternative spring break, went to Immokalee, and I had dinner with her brother. And I met her mother at her house just very briefly, maybe 10, 15 minutes at dinner. And when I would pick her up and the kids were there with the grandparents, I would have just a couple moments of interaction with them. I didn't have a lot of contact.
Okay. And what about Catherine McBanois? Did you ever have an occasion to meet her?
Yeah, I went to dinner with her. I believe it was on March 11th when we went over there to meet Charlie.
Okay.
March 11th. He cracks me up.
So who was present at that meal on March 11th? And that's 2014?
That's correct. It was myself, Wendy Adelson, Charlie, and Katie.
Charles Adelson.
Charles
and
Adelson and Catherine McBanois.
Thank you. What about Sigfredo Garcia? Did you ever have an occasion to meet him?
I did not. I've never met him.
Was Ms. Adelson very close to her parents and her brother Charlie?
Extremely close.
I want to ask you about June 4th, 2014. Do you recall an event that occurred that day that was unusual?
Yeah, I remember a couple of unusual occurrences on June 4th.
Could you tell us about that, please?
Yeah, I had met Ms. Adelson at the Red Eye Coffee Shop in Midtown for coffee about 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We were going to talk about our relationship a little bit. And she canceled a trip we had planned to California to visit my parents, which was scheduled for July 11th to 17th.
All right. And was she acting strangely that night?
Yeah, that night, she was a nervous wreck to the point, I couldn't put my finger on why at the time, to the point where she lived kind of way up Centerville where there was no convenience stores or anything close. And I actually took about 35 minutes and drove to a convenience store to get her Pepto-Bismol because she was such a nervous wreck and had a real nervous stomach that evening.
Okay. And did she ever tell you what the problem was?
I was
No,
kidding.
she's very non-specific about it.
What?
Were you aware during the...
Hey, babe, will you find me some Pepto-Bismol? Just like go 30 minutes, find that, okay?
course of your relationship with Ms. Adelson about her efforts to relocate to South Florida with the children?
I certainly was.
All right. And were you in her life when she learned that the court was not going to permit her to take
No,
the
our
children
first
to
date
South
was
Florida?
September 27th, 2013. So that was a top of conversation on our first couple of dates, but it was in the past when we discussed it.
All right. And was Ms. Adelson happy about the fact that she was not able to relocate?
No, she was quite bitter about it, actually. It was, as I said, a topic that came up, that tone came up on those first 2 dates.
All right.
You guys know that every girl wants a man like Jeff to remember every date like this. So you get every gift that you deserve on the best of days and the worst of days. Jeff is going to remember. I mean, he's got the dates and timestamps, man.
Did she make any statements to you in reference to her brother considering options to take care of this problem with her not being able to relocate?
Yes, she did.
Okay.
When we broke, we were talking about statements made to you by Wendy Adelson about her brother considering options to take care of her relocation problem. What, if any, statements did she tell you to that effect?
Yes, ma'am. On July 13th, 2014, Wendy and I were speaking, and she asked me if she could share something with me confidentially. I told her sure. She mentioned, or she said that Charlie had explored all options to take care of the problem, and that he had looked into having Professor Markel killed. It would cost about $15,000. I later talked to investigator Isom and said that could have been $50,000. They sound an awful lot alike.
Okay, so you're not sure if she said 15 or 50.
That's right, but I'm confident she made that statement. I just can't remember the exact dollar amount. And she did state that was during the relocation battle the previous summer is when that had taken place.
All right. And the day that she made the statement to you was July 13th of 2014.
Yes, ma'am.
Did Mrs. Adelson tell you anything about the celebration dinner? Anything about a celebration dinner?
Yes.
Could you tell us about that, please?
Yes. A couple weeks after Professor Markel was murdered, we spoke on the phone, and she had mentioned that her and Charlie had gone to, these are her words, she said, Charlie and I went to what he described as a celebration dinner.
All right. And that was the dinner where she vomited?
That's right. That's correct.
And are you aware, Mr. LaCasse, that Ms. Adelson suggested you as a possible suspect in this homicide?
Yes, I am.
And where were you when Dan Markel was murdered?
I was on the road to Tennessee.
Tennessee.
I originally had a trip planned for 11 a.m. on Friday the 18th, and I had, at the last moment, changed my trip to Thursday night. So
you left early?
I left early without telling anyone other than the people at the destination. Miss Adelson was the only person I had told in Tallahassee about the time that I was leaving, which was 11 a.m. on the 18th. I had informed her about that in around June 10th.
All right. So originally it was going to be July 18th at 11 a.m. would be your departure?
Yes, ma'am.
And would you be flying or driving?
I was driving.
All right. And it changed to Thursday night, so you left the night before and were in Tennessee at the time of the homicide?
That's correct.
This is why Wendy. Now it makes sense. This is why Wendy was singing like a canary when she talked to the police. Wendy didn't know. Wendy did not know that he had left on Thursday night. Oh my God, Wendy, you dog. That's why she told him. That's why. Okay, I confide in you. Man. They're good at lying though, but thank God. You guys, can you imagine? It was his friends. It was this dude's friends that said, I think she was trying to set you up for this, bro. And he's like, I didn't even realize he was when he was doing his interview or with the police station. The police were just like, this dude is just, you guys need to get in here. This guy's like, I don't even know what's going on here, but this guy is spilling the tea. You know, it was like,
No further questions.
okay, dude, she only directed him for 7 minutes. 7 minutes. He was only on direct. Okay. 7 minutes. I'm keeping the tab right there. Now he's like, oh God, here we go.
Still morning. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning.
Pronounce your last name for me again.
LaCasse.
LaCasse. Okay. Just want to make sure I got it right. Mr. LaCasse. So Wendy Adelson knew you were leaving. Well, you told her you were leaving Friday morning.
Friday morning at 11, we had discussed it because we had some plans that got canceled. So we had discussed it in some detail, actually.
And your plan was to leave Tallahassee and to drive northbound.
Thomasville Road, eastbound. Yes, sir.
Sure. Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. Yeah. So your plan was to travel north of Tallahassee to Tennessee, correct?
That's correct.
And you told Wendy that, hey, listen, I'm going on this trip and I'm leaving Friday morning around 11 a.m., correct?
That's correct.
And do you recall what time the actual shooting took place?
I believe it was right around 11 a.m.
The same exact time that you'd be leaving the area?
That's correct.
And although it was for a business trip, if people didn't know what your plans were, would you agree with me that it may look like you're leaving the scene if you're traveling outside of the jurisdiction?
That's what I was concerned about, that if I had taken my trip at the scheduled time, I would have looked like I was fleeing because I would have been driving, I would have taken Capitol Circle to Thomasville and been very close to Professor Markel's house, actually.
And when did you find out that Ms. Adelson, Wendy Adelson, had suggested that you may be involved in this?
I suspected it from the police interrogations, but they didn't explicitly say that. Eventually, I was able to view her interrogation video.
Wait.
And by her, you mean Wendy Adelson?
Yes, sir.
When did he video?
And by interrogation video, you mean interview, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because as you're aware, she has not been charged in this case, correct?
I'm aware of that. Yes, sir.
And obviously you haven't either.
Right.
Right. You've been cleared by law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let's talk about your relationship with Wendy Adelson.
Okay.
You started dating her. Give me a time period.
September 27th, 2013 was our first date.
And how long would you say that your relationship with her lasted?
Well, there was different phases of it. In that fall semester, we weren't exclusive. It was more casual. It became more serious late February, early March. So as far as a serious, I'm your boyfriend, you're my girlfriend sort of thing, just March through July.
Okay. So you started casually dating in September of 2013, and it got more serious at the beginning of 2014, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
And how did you meet Miss Adelson? How did you guys first have a date?
Yeah, through mutual friends.
Okay, so it wasn't like on a social media dating app or anything else?
No.
Okay. Were you aware if Miss Adelson was participating in online dating?
I think I knew that, well, I knew that she had dated online in the past. I did not know the time frame.
One of your concerns, okay, so once you guys became exclusive, and by exclusive, I mean you called her your girlfriend and she called you her boyfriend, is that fair?
That's correct. And I was involved with the kids at that point and things like that.
And it got to the point where she introduced you to her family, right?
That's right.
And you indicated that there was a dinner where you met Charlie Adelson?
That's right.
When was
kind of a good-looking guy, right?
Sure.
Right. Works out?
Yes.
Okay. When you went on, when you had your double date, where it was you, Wendy Adelson, Charlie, and Miss Magmanoa, did you see what kind of car Mr. Adelson pulled in?
I don't recall seeing his car in the parking lot. We then went to his house, so I saw his garage and got a look at some of the vehicles he owned, but not that at dinner.
What kind of vehicles does he have?
Ferrari is the one that stood out to me.
Do you remember the color of the Ferrari?
I don't.
Did you make any comments to Wendy about the Ferrari?
Well, Wendy used to talk about Charlie having a Ferrari. I mean, that was, she would say, my brother's a character. He has a Ferrari. He has an undercover cop car. He has, I think, a nice Benz in addition, or some luxury car.
So she knew what a Ferrari was, right?
Sure. Well, sure.
So it's not like she didn't say he's got a Porsche and you saw a Ferrari, right?
No, it was a Ferrari. And I actually remember discussing the cost of maintenance with Charlie. There were some downsides to having a Ferrari.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's tough. So pretty extensive car collection, right?
But he had multiple cars. Yeah. I don't know exactly how many.
And did you learn what he did for a living?
Yeah, I knew he was a periodontist from speaking with Wendy.
And was that the only night you had direct contact with Mr. Adelson, Charlie Adelson?
That's the only contact I ever had with him that night.
Did he appear to have, did he appear to be intelligent?
He had, that's a difficult question. I just met him the one night. That's a big
I'll withdraw that. Let me ask a more important question. Was he socialized? Was he drinking that night?
I don't recall if he was drinking. He was holding forth. He was talking a lot. He was confident. That was my impression of him.
He was talking a lot?
Yes.
Did you ever see him go to the bathroom?
I don't recall.
Did you ever see him, was he perspiring more than a normal person would during dinner?
This is 5 years ago. I don't remember. We were outside and it was, not cool that time of year, but yeah.
Okay, so you're outside in like an open area restaurant?
Yeah, we were at the Yardbird on the patio.
Okay, the Yardbird in South Beach?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you witness Charlie Adelson doing cocaine that night?
I did not.
So this is a guy who's in South Beach, right? Drives a Ferrari, right?
Yes.
What, had Wendy previously described him as having a lot of girlfriends?
Sure.
Handsome guy, probably could get attention of women?
I would presume so.
But your only face-to-face meeting was at dinner, correct?
Well, that dinner, and then we went back to his house and hung out in his hot tub for a little while, but that was it.
And during that time that you went to his house to hang up in the hot tub, did you see him ever go to the bathroom, or was he ever outside of your personal space?
Yeah, I think all of us were in and out of that hot tub at various points because we were sitting there a little while.
At any point did Charlie Adelson, now look, you're a law professor, correct?
Professor of social work, actually.
Correct. Okay. I'm sorry. You're a professor at the university, correct? I apologize, not law professor.
Yeah.
You're an educated person, correct?
Sure.
You'll agree with me that a lay person wouldn't solicit you to commit a murder, correct?
Objection. Argumentative.
Sustained.
I'll re-ask this. Did Charlie Adelson ask you to kill Dan Markel?
Did Charlie ask me to
Did he
kill him?
ask you?
No.
Of course not. And
Mr.
I apologize. I'll withdraw.
course
the agenda. And you'll agree with me that at no point did you give him any reason to believe that you would be someone that would do such a nefarious act, correct?
No.
Okay. When the prosecutor asked you about June 4th, 2014, you recall that?
Yes, sir.
And you said that you guys were at the Red Eye Coffee Shop, right?
That's correct.
And around what time was that?
I had a hair appointment at 2 or 3, so it was at 1 or 2.
And so in the early afternoon,
Could have been as early as 12:30, sir. I mean,
12:30.
Yeah.
Okay. So around 12:30 on June 4th, 2014, correct?
That's correct.
You indicated that she was and by she I mean Wendy Adelson, that she was acting unusual.
That's correct.
Would that be a fair assessment?
Yes.
Did you ask her what was wrong?
I did ask her what was wrong. It was very non-specific. That happened with Wendy quite a bit with it, where she was upset and there was not an exact name put to why.
Was she upset often?
Yes.
Would she get these kind of physical reactions often, that her stomach would hurt or that she would ask you to get her medicine?
I got to know her better in the spring, so I saw more of it than I would have in the fall. That was the only time I can recall that. That was not an average thing. I think it's why I remember it, because it was unusual.
That she would send you out for Pepto?
And you said that you drove about 35 minutes to get her medicine?
Yeah,
Did
it could
she
have been
have to
25, 35 minutes, but it's where she lived was not convenient to run to the store. So it was a discussion like, do we want to do that? It's all the way down there. And she was,
Yeah, you need to do that. Do you see me over here? Can't stay off the toilet. Of course you have to go 35 minutes. Well, God, then by the time you get back here, it looks like an hour. Let me just go to my brother's and just sit in his hot tub and mess it up over there.
so nervous. I thought, no, I'm going. So
did she go with you?
No, she did not. She had the kids that night, so she stayed with the children.
Did she make any kind of doctor's appointments shortly thereafter, to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge.
Now, you indicated that you guys became boyfriend and girlfriend at the beginning portion of 2014. Is that a correct statement, sir?
Yes, sir.
And when would you tell the members of this jury that your relationship with her ended?
Well, that's a little complicated. On July 14th, we went on a date. And when I got home, she had sent me an email saying, I need a week to think. Please don't contact me for the next week. So that was the Monday before Professor Markel was killed. And then we didn't talk for maybe 10 or 12 days after the murder. So I assumed it was internally, I assumed it was over, that night. When you get an email like that, you're probably figuring it's over. But in subsequent phone calls, she acted as if it was still a slightly open issue. And we closed that down by phone calls that, obviously we're going to move on here.
Did you ever question her loyalty to you in your relationship with her?
With regularity, yes.
And when you say with regularity, when did you first become suspicious? Now, let me ask this question first. You were concerned that she was seeing other men, right?
I was.
Okay. And when did you first start getting this concern?
Probably March, April timeframe, I started to wonder.
What a hoe.
So not too long after we became a couple, I guess what I was wondering is, have we really become a couple, or is she still doing what she was doing before?
Was it like, did you find like text messages or direct messages on social media that made you kind of go, what's going on here?
No, I didn't see any text messages or anything on social media. Her behavior was just erratic. She would disappear. She would get home very late at night.
Straight stalking her.
So there were signs like that.
Would you talk to her about it?
I tried to.
Okay. So let me ask it this way.
Yeah.
Did she understand that you were concerned about her being loyal to you, or your relationship being a monogamous one?
To be completely honest, I think we kind of pussyfooted around that
Pussyfooted.
until we had that big fight at the end of June. That's what that
straight pussy.
That argument was about.
Let's talk about that big fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why don't you walk the members of the jury through what happened?
Yeah, I had taken Wendy to Gainesville with me. I was teaching in the off-campus program at UF for the weekend, so I took her with me.
I'm sorry, was it just you and her, or did she bring the kids?
No, it's just me and her.
So like a romantic getaway to Gainesville?
Well, work/pleasure. I teach during the day. She works in a coffee shop. We have dinner with friends at night, that kind of stuff. It's a nice area down
Sounds
there.
nice.
Yeah, it was nice. And weekend started off fine. The Saturday night, we sort of got into it over this stuff. I confronted her about the fact that I suspected that she had been seeing other men.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So you're at dinner
We were actually up in the hotel room. The night was basically over. It was pretty late. It was 9 or 10 o'clock at night when this discussion happened.
Okay. And had she had any alcoholic beverages at that point?
We both had, but I think just 1 or 2
Well,
glasses
that's
of wine a couple
total,
hours
like,
earlier.
bonus
Just socially with dinner, maybe?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
There was no more drinking than that.
And did you say, listen, I think this, that, or the other? Did you have any specifics, or were you just giving a vague, I'm concerned about where this relationship is?
The latter. I was pretty specific. I told her I was very concerned. I was particularly concerned because the way she had framed our relationship was, you're not just becoming my boyfriend. I have children. I'm a mother. It's like I was auditioning for the job of husband and father is actually sort of how it felt in retrospect. So I bonded with the kids pretty tightly. And as you can imagine, their relationship.
Craigslist. Looking for a husband, looking for a father, and a hitman. Where can I sign? Let's see. Right here. All. Sign up. Thank you.
That kind of discussion gets more complicated when you're serious and there's kids. And she had been talking about me moving in. She had told me not to buy a house. She had told me not to buy a Jeep, that I needed to buy a vehicle that 2 car seats could fit in. So
it sounds like you guys were heading down that path.
Yeah, hence why I raised the issue, because I had some intuitions everything wasn't quite right. Her behavior had been a little erratic, and I was worried about moving in and ending up in a really bad situation, actually.
So would it be fair to say that she was saying the wrong things, but her actions were speaking louder than the words?
That's not a bad summary. I was getting 2 very different messages based on behavior or what she was speaking to me, what she was saying. Yeah.
No.
Did that argument or that discussion, did you feel it the next morning?
What do you mean by feel it, sir?
Was she acting any different the following morning?
Oh,
What do you mean,
next day
feel
was
it?
probably the most awkward car ride I've ever had in my life. We rode from Gainesville to Tallahassee. She was crying. I was very upset. It was a very awkward 3-hour drive.
It's a 3-hour drive?
3 or 4, however long it is to.
Okay, from Gainesville to Tallahassee, however long that was.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry.
And this was in June, you said June 20?
That would have been June 29th. That's the Sunday, the last Sunday in June.
2 weeks later, on July 13th, Wendy tells you, or Wendy has this discussion with you that the prosecutor elicited, right?
Yes.
From June 29th to July 13th, would you say your relationship with Wendy after that awkward, that long 2 or 3 hour, 4 hour, however long it is, from Gainesville to Tallahassee, emotional car ride, right?
Yes.
She's crying,
Yes.
upset.
Yes.
And I would assume, well, let me strike this. Did you believe that she was upset? Because like I said, she was saying all the right things, but she wasn't acting like she was talking.
It's very complicated, and she was all over the place, to be frank, in that at one point she was confessing. At one point she was saying, I never did that. She was saying she couldn't remember some things I wanted to talk about, which was frustrating. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
No worries. You said she was confessing.
Go ahead.
Was she admitting to potential talking to other men?
More than talking the night before when we were having the argument, but it was.
What was she saying?
It was a heated discussion, so I don't remember every word of it. But at points, she kind of let it slip out that my concerns were well-founded.
Okay.
And then 5 minutes later, she would say the opposite. And when I've had to explain the story in the past, I've had to say it doesn't sound like it makes sense because she was just all over the place. She was hysterical. Really.
Okay. So would it be fair to say at some point she admits to talking to other dudes, to talking to other men, and then shortly thereafter denies what she just confessed to?
Well, then that repeat as needed on the car ride back, she was like, I never did any of that stuff. I don't know what you're talking about, which was kind of crazy making for me because she had confessed to some of it the night before.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So from June 29th till July 13th.
No, I didn't.
Would you say you were fixing the relationship at that point? Was it getting better or was it getting worse?
It's hard to tell because on the 29th, I left her house and I didn't see her again until July 13th. She went to South Florida for those 2 weeks.
Did you
So-
guys talk on the phone?
We talked on the phone once in a while. We did some video chats. I talked to the kids via video chat and things like that. But it was very up in the air where the relationship was going to go. I would get a mixture of messages, verbally and by text.
Would you agree with me that your level of contact with her between June 29th and July 14th was less than it was before?
Oh, it was minimal. It was minimal. Days and days would go by at points without us talking on the phone at least. I may get the random text or something, but we weren't talking a lot.
And then on July 13th, Wendy, in essence, tells you that her brother, Charlie, had looked into hiring a hitman to kill Dan Markel.
In 2013, yes, sir.
In 2013?
Yes.
Oh,
What was your reaction to this?
It was in the context of a relationship discussion. It kind of just blurted out. When he has a habit of blurting things out, they're kind of tangential or whatever. And so I didn't know what to make of it. My stomach kind of flipped. It was like a chilling statement. And then we kind of ended up talking about the relationship again. And so I didn't give it a lot of thought at the time. It was just like a crazy thing that someone would say, you know.
Okay. Very crazy thing.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Did you take that statement as a threat to you? And let me kind of clarify this. She indicated that because of her bad relationship with Mr. Markel, correct? And you'll agree with me that they had a bad relationship, correct?
That's how she characterized it.
You'll agree with me that she said, based on a bad relationship, that her brother had looked into hiring somebody to kill him, correct?
Well, that was specifically about the relocation, is
Okay.
what she said in that statement. I know they had bad blood otherwise for other reasons, certainly, but that was specifically tied to the relocation battle being lost. That was what prompted Charlie to look into it, according to her statement.
That happened afterwards, though. That doesn't make
This
sense.
conversation that you had on July 13th, where was it?
It was in her house on Aqua Ridge.
Was anybody else around when she made the statement?
No, sir.
Did you contact any of your friends after this conversation and discuss the fact that Wendy Adelson had indicated that her brother had looked to hire a hitman?
In what time frame?
Okay, so on July 13th, when the conversation's over, do you stay there that night?
No,
You left.
we ended with me telling Wendy, if this isn't going to work for you, you can text me and we can just break up. I don't want a big thing, like confrontation. And I left for the night. I did not stay.
Do you have like a family member or a best friend that you talk to about personal issues?
I have several, sure.
Okay. Did you call or contact any of them on the way back to discuss what had transpired about? And I'm not talking about the breakup.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Like what he's talking about is, wait, what do you mean somebody just says to you that my brother's looking into hiring a hitman? You work at that school. You're a professor at that school. And like, you don't think to give homeboy a heads up, like, hey, this is really out there on left field, but you know that broad you were married to? Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but she told me something about her brother was going to hire a hitman. Like, don't you think he would? I mean, I don't know.
I am talking about the breakup.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you call your friends and go, hey, listen, it ended with me and Wendy?
It's summertime, and at FSU, a lot of these people were out of town. Some of them were even overseas, so there was less contact than there ordinarily would have been. But I'm sure I discussed the fact, well, not that night because it was so late. What I remember is the next day when I get this email saying, don't contact me for a week, I certainly shared that with friends because I found it really frustrating and surprising and thought it was weird.
Did you share with any of your friends the comment that Wendy Adelson made to you with regards to her brother and the murder for hire?
Yeah, I'm sure I did. I just couldn't tell you who or when I did that, but certainly after the murder occurred, certainly I shared that with people. I also shared it with the police the first day they brought me in.
Right. So you were interviewed by law enforcement in this case, correct?
Yes, sir.
During your interview with law enforcement, did you mention this statement?
I did.
Okay. Did you tell it was Detective Eisen that interviewed you?
It was him and Investigator Hale.
Okay. Did you indicate to them who you had shared this information with?
I don't know that I was
Objection,
asked to.
hearsay.
Judge, it's not for the
Overruled.
Can you restate the question?
No worries. So when you tell them what Wendy told you about her brother's murder for hire plot, did you say, yeah, listen, I spoke to my buddy, because the murder happened on the 18th, correct?
That's correct.
And so 4 days prior to that is when you got that breakup. Was it an email or a text message?
It was an email.
Okay, so you get a breakup email. And so you call your friends, which is normal, right? And you indicated just a few minutes ago that you probably mentioned the murder for hire to some of your friends, right?
At some point, I just don't know when.
Okay. What about, was that before or after your interview with law enforcement?
Was what before or after?
Your discussions with friends.
Well, after I had told it to the police, I certainly discussed it. I'm confident. I may have done it before as well. I don't recall that. But after I told the police that, I did share that with some people confidentially. Yes.
I thought it was in 2000.
Now, she
no.
told
It was
you, and by
told you-
she, I'm referring to Wendy Adelson, during your July 13th conversation, that he had looked and the price was either 15 or 50,000, correct?
That's correct.
So it's either one or the other, correct?
Right.
And would it be fair to say, based on your testimony, that she said that that price was too high?
No, she didn't offer any further context or explanation. It was kind of the thing that was blurted out. And then literally 20 seconds later, she started talking about something else, and I can't recall what that was. I think it was the relationship stuff that I was very focused on.
So out of nowhere, she tells you Charlie was going to go look to hire a hitman. It was going to cost $15,000 or $50,000, and you don't go back to that.
I don't know that it was out of nowhere. I believe preceding that was a discussion that if anything ever happened to Danny, she would move to Miami. I think I've spoken to the
Welcome to
investigators about that previously.
Danny's in Miami.
And listen, I have to ask Mr. LaCasse, at no point did you contact law enforcement after you heard of this threat so they could contact Mr. Markel to see if there's any need to protect him in any way, shape, or form?
I didn't.
Give me 1 second, Your Honor. Good night. Just a few more questions, sir.
Sure.
Would I be correct or incorrect in assuming or in saying that you were interested in having a monogamous relationship with Wendy Adelson?
I thought I had a monogamous relationship with
And you wanted to keep it, correct?
Depends when you're asking.
On July 13th, 2014?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
That's right.
I'm sorry to ask such personal questions. I know it's difficult. Did you think it's unusual? Well, let me ask this. At some point, did you ever see a picture of Dan Markel?
Sure.
Do you think that there's a resemblance between yourself and him?
Everybody always says that. When I was dating her, no one ever brought it up. I see it from the pictures. In real life, I was never told that while we were dating.
And as you indicated before, you're also a professor?
Yes, correct.
Do you feel wronged by Wendy Adelson?
Do I feel wronged?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No further questions.
Everybody?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So I asked the board.
Good morning.
The questions I'm about to ask you are about the investigation into you, not that we believe you're a suspect, okay?
I understand.
You would agree with me at the beginning of the case in July 2014, there was a thought that you were a potential suspect.
That's what I've been told, yes.
You were contacted by the police.
I was.
You came in, you were interviewed.
Yes, I came straight from my trip into the TPD station.
3 separate times you were interviewed, right?
Yes.
Now, they didn't handcuff you at gunpoint and drag you into the station, right?
No, they asked me to come in, so I came in.
voluntarily went in.
Yes,
You told them what you knew. You explained the information, right?
yes,
Eventually, you helped them get bank records to show where you were. It was in Tennessee, right?
yeah. I believe it was cell phone records and a receipt from a Kmart that had surveillance video of me. Was my understanding of it.
So they get your bank records. They see a transaction at a Walmart, right?
Yeah, credit card records. Yes, sir. Yes.
There's then a receipt.
Mhm.
And then they go actually to the Walmart, get their surveillance footage that shows you there.
Yeah, it was a Kmart, but yes, sir.
And then you were cleared.
That's correct.
You would agree with me that they objectively investigated you.
Yes.
Now, had they not gotten the bank records, the Walmart video, or anything like that, one could paint a picture that you were involved. Just the fact that you left town right when the murder happened and you had this connection.
Well, except that I wasn't in the state at the time of the murder, so how could I have done it? So that's
Yeah, but
What we're talking about here is that somebody could paint the picture
okay.
without all the evidence.
Yeah, if they don't have all the evidence, sure.
Let's go to something you said on direct talking about June 4th.
Yes.
And you appear to have a very good memory of all the instances. You said that Wendy had the kids on June 4th, the night of June 4th.
Yes.
You spent a lot of time with Wendy, spent a lot of time with the kids. You knew their daily schedule of the boys, right?
I knew not so much because I usually got there in the evening. So at the time, I would know what days she had the kids. But as far as pickup times and things like that, I usually saw them at the end of the day. I accompanied her just a couple times to pick up the kids. So I don't want to sound like I'm an expert on that because I'm not.
So June 4th, she has the kids. The next morning, June 5th, she would have taken them to creative preschool.
She would have, but I never stayed over there. So when the kids were there, so I wouldn't have known that because I left at the end of the night if the kids were there every time.
That would have been consistent with the custody setup that she had with Dan Markel, correct?
Yeah, depending on what the days on the schedule were, which I don't recall. I used to know that. I don't anymore.
It wouldn't have been that he'd come and pick them up at her house and then bring them over to creative preschool.
I never saw that kind of scheduling anyway.
So it would have been consistent with on June 5th, she would have dropped the kids off.
It would have been consistent if I don't have any primary knowledge of what she did on June 5th.
All right. Let's talk about Charles Adelson. Understanding that you didn't have a close relationship with him, you did meet him and you hung out with him.
Yeah, for a few hours.
To you, and I'm going to use your words, he seemed like somebody that hung out on both sides of the tracks, right?
That's the way he presented himself in that hot tub. Yes.
And you took that to be accurate.
Yes, I took his self-presentation to be accurate. That's correct.
During the day, he's wearing a lab coat or scrubs, whatever dentists wear, right?
Right.
And then when he's off work, he's going out, he's hanging out at the gym with less savory people.
Yeah, that was sort of his characterization. I was sort of repeating what he said. Yeah.
In your words, less savory
Well, not less
individuals.
savory, gritty. I don't remember his exact words, but gritty, something like that. I don't remember his exact words, but yeah, that's how he presented himself in that hot tub. It seemed to be almost a braggadocio kind of thing, like, look at me, I'm on both sides. Yeah.
And you took him to be a street smart guy.
I did.
He had friends that were ex-special ops.
Yes, that's what he said. Yeah, that's what him and Wendy said. Yeah.
His gym friends that to you almost came off as nefarious.
Well, yeah, and I don't remember the details at this point, but he was talking about deals they were doing. There was a lot of hinting and innuendo. But yeah, you're accurately presenting how he presented to me.
Let's go now to the dinner on March 11, 2014.
Sure.
It was outside. It was on Miami Beach.
Yeah.
If you remember, and you may not, do you remember seeing a pickup truck with two gentlemen outside of the restaurant watching you guys?
No.
Let's go now to July 14th, 2014.
Okay.
Now, you had met Catherine McBanwa several months prior to that.
Yeah, I met her in March.
So March, April, May, June, July. Wendy is opening up to you and saying what her brother had looked into doing, right?
I think you're talking about the 14th. You're talking about the 13th, I think.
July 13th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So July 13, 2014, she's talking about her brother hiring a hitman. She's giving you incriminating details, right?
Yes.
Never said anything about the involvement of Catherine McBanwa. right?
No, it was 3 sentences, so no, she didn't.
All right, let's talk about now the options that he looked into doing to take care of the problem, right?
Right.
On direct examination, the state attorney's office asked you what year it was.
Yes, that's what I'm going to get to. Yeah.
But there was more specifics to that. It was specifically the summer of 2013, right?
Yes, it was attached to the relocation, so whenever,
Yes.
it was after relocation had failed.
Okay, this is why this mattered. Remember, I said, wait, what was that date? Because you guys, the relocation judge denies Wendy's motion to relocate with the children to South Florida is June 20th, 2013. Dan Markel was in killed until 2014. So I'm just curious as to like,
Where she'd been denied the motion for relocation.
But I want to make sure it's clear because we didn't have the full information from
Yeah.
direct examination. What Wendy told you is that her brother looked into hiring a hitman in the summer of 2013.
That's correct.
And that would have been before he even knew Catherine McBanois.
Yeah, I don't know when they met, but if you say so.
One brief moment, Your Honor.
see, Lana's
No
always.
further questions, Your Honor. Thank you.
Redirect.
Yes, Your Honor. The breakup email on July 14th, 2014. I know you had some phone contact after that, but was that basically the end of your relationship?
That's the last time I ever saw her.
Okay.
We did have some, it was in August. It was after, we didn't talk between then and after the murder.
Okay, and you never got back together and resumed your
Oh,
relationship?
no.
No further questions.
All right, did you ever have a question of this witness? Write your question down. We'll go sidebar.
Oh, let's hear jury questions.
So, series of questions from the jury. The email, the July 14, 2014 email was that on a FSU website or a private website? Do you have any recollection?
I think that was from Wendy's Gmail account.
Okay, what about to you?
Oh, that would have been to my Gmail as well.
Okay. So the answer is no, it was not on an FSU website.
Correct.
Okay.
To the best of my recollection, yeah.
Okay. Did Ms. Adelson indicate that she wanted to relocate to have the children full time?
She talked about, she didn't talk directly about relocating because she knew that was no longer a possibility. But the other side of that coin, how unhappy she was in Tallahassee and how frustrated she was by the child custody were issues that came up, if not every day, every week, that came up very frequently.
Okay, so that was actually the next question about, she frequently spoke about the divorce and the custody battle.
Yes, consistently throughout the entire relationship.
And did she appear distressed when she didn't have the children with her?
Sometimes, yes.
What kind of vehicle were you driving back in July 2014?
I was driving a 2004 four-door silver Nissan Sentra.
Ms. Kaplan?
No further questions.
Garcia? McBanois?
Nothing, Your Honor. Thank
All right, you can step down. Do we need to keep this witness any further?
Judge, I'd like to release him to go about his business, but I'd like him to remain under the rule.
All right, you can remain under the rule of sequestration, so don't discuss the case with anyone, but you're free to go about your business. You have a phone number for him if you should
Yes,
need it.
sir.
All right.
I think is this the McBanois? Did they hear? Yeah. This isn't Charlie's. Is that Charlie's? Anyways, so yeah, this is just a little, if you go back to the beginning, a little timeline. Donna Martin graduate. Oh, I mean, Donna Adelson. Okay. But thank you guys so much for joining. I can't believe it's been 11 years. How old were the kids now? How old were the kids back then? The kids have to be 2014 if they were like, I think, what, 3 and 4? I mean, these kids got to be in high school, right? Close. This is awful. So sad. 11 years ago. All right, guys. Teenagers now, right? Yeah, they got to be going into high school soon. I think they were like just, I want to say they were like 4. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. Give us a little, hey, so sad. So sad. Thank you, moderators. Until next time. Jeff, we got a date. We got a date. All right, guys, be kind.